Can we please bring in Jamie Thomas from WinnipegJets.com? I didn't know you were coming on. I'm going out of my way to kiss your butt, JT. I just got this on. How you doing, buddy? How's the summer been?
It's been good. The weather's been great, as you know. Through the prairies, it's been pretty fantastic. Summer went by fast. My youngest daughter is in soccer. So, as you know, when that starts happening, you start getting real busy. And it's whizzed by, buddy. And now all of a sudden, a lot of stuff happened for the Jets during the offseason. And here we go. We're almost getting to that point.
Well, for the uninitiated, would you mind recapping what those things were, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I think the big one is, just the decision by the organization to get a little younger. Also hiring Scott Arniel as the head coach, which I think is the natural progression here in Winnipeg. He did a great job when Rick Bowness had his health challenges and when Judy Bowness was sick too, right? So I think I always believed when Scott was hired as the associate coach that he would take over for Bones when Bones decided to hang it up. So here he is, his second chance at being the head coach of the National Hockey League. Of course, he did that with the Columbus Blue Jackets for the first time. And of course, he said he learned a lot from that. And how can you not, right? It's just we all learn in our first time in things. And I think Scott Arniel is the right man for the job as the Jets go into this 24-25 season.
John Liu was on with us just a couple of days ago. You're probably around Johnny every day. He says he doesn't expect much will change with the Jets from Bones to Arniel.
No, I think that, Scott Arniel is clearly part of one of the architects of the system the Jets have played the last couple of years, and we saw the fruits of their labor, Rick Bowness and Scott Arniel, because considering how Winnipeg defended last year, right? It took them 1 year to get the message across that defense is going to win you a lot of games. We've always known, Rod, that the Jets can score goals. That hasn't been a problem for this organization for a very long time. It was keeping the puck out. And, they were tremendous last year in that department. No one allowed fewer goals in the NHL than the Jets a year ago. Connor Hellebuck won his second Vezina Trophy. You know what I mean? So it's just like there's a lot to build off. And yes, of course, there's the sour taste in your mouth going out in the first round of the Colorado Avalanche. But that was just... the Central Division is so loaded, my friend, that it was a crapshoot who was going to come out of it. And Colorado beating Winnipeg the way they did, I think, obviously has some people a little bit frustrated and looking towards this season too. But, finishing fourth overall, having the Vezina Trophy winner is a pretty good place to start going into 24-25.
Oh. Dude, I was following that.
Yeah.
Jennings race very closely because the Panthers were right on the Jets' butt for it. Right? And they ended up winning the Stanley Cup. Like, is there a sense that the Jets are right there, that they're right there, or do they need a major change?
I don't going back to a little bit earlier, but going young. And it's funny, and a lot of markets will do this. They'll decide you have these young players, and the Jets have lost some defensemen in their in the hierarchy and their depth chart over the years. But when you got Brendan Dillon, Josh Morrissey, Dylan DeMello, Nate Schmidt, of course, and now Florida Panther, and standing in the way, it's kind of hard to make space. And Billy Heinola was, stepping in the door, probably was that seventh defenseman before he broke his ankle against Ottawa in the last game of the preseason too. So I believe, Rod, if you continue to defend the way that they did last year, you're going to have success. Now, that being said, it's pretty challenging in the Central. You already have Dallas, you already have Colorado. Now you throw in the Nashville Predators, who were on their way up, almost made the playoffs a year ago. They added some big names in the offseason via free agency. Utah, still getting used to saying that, has made some moves. They're going to be hanging around. Chicago's going to be better this year. I just think St. Louis is the big question mark, but they're always competitive. So where the Jets fit in that hierarchy in the Central, it's going to be a battle. But playing all those types of games this year, those heavy type games, will only get you ready for the playoffs. I believe the Jets are a top 3 team in the Central Division, and that's likely where they're going to be sitting when the playoffs begin next April.
I'm totally with you. I guess we can't assume they'll be in the playoffs. They always are. They've proven they're that good. Yeah. So it's just, what's the next step? Here's a fun one that you've probably talked about with your buds. I don't know if you've said it on air anywhere. Patrick Laine to Montreal. How do you think this is going to turn out?
Oh, we were talking about this the other day. So Cole Caulfield's their trigger guy, mainly on the power play. How does Patrick Laine fit into there? But to have two shooters like that on the Canadiens' power play is pretty lethal. I'm happy for Patrick. Right, he's gone through a lot since he left here. Didn't turn out the way he was hoping it would in Columbus. But for him to get that opportunity in Montreal, I'm thrilled for him, and I think there's a lot of goals left in Patrick Laine's stick because you just don't forget how to score goals, and we all know the premium that is put on that in the National Hockey League. So very excited for Patrick Laine to get that opportunity in Montreal.
Good. I'm glad to hear that because I've never met the guy. I've just seen him on the ice and seen all the other stuff. Right. And it's just this enigmatic thing that we all hope that it comes together one day. And it is kind of nice that he has gotten another chance. I guess with skill like that, you're always going to get a chance.
Yeah, it's also tough, too, when you don't have Blake Wheeler feeding the seam passes or Dustin Byfuglien kind of being that guy that took, when Laine and the Jets power play were at their peak, it was Dustin Byfuglien at the top, and you have to respect his shot. So that I felt opened up space for Patrick Laine to do what he did, and of course Blake Wheeler passing as well as he did as well. So it's that ability to shoot the puck will never leave Patrick Laine, and I think there's still, like I said, a lot of goals remaining in that stick of his.
Good stuff. Well, that's all I had. What's new with you, bro?
Thanks, buddy.
Tell me something. Listen,
I'm going to Penticton for the annual Young Stars Classic. With the Jets, Flames, Oilers, and Canucks prospects. That's a great. Listen, that's so much fun. Beautiful location. It's always nice to see the future of the Winnipeg Jets and clearly the other three Canadian Western teams as well. And then camp gets underway. Like there's a lot of question marks, man. Like who's going to be the second center? Sean Monahan signed with Columbus, left a hole there. So to me, Vladislav Domestikov is kind of the front runner in that department, the veteran. That guy is so underrated in so many departments. I'm sure, Cole Perfetti is going to have a say in there as well. They still have to get him signed. And then Billy Hanel is going to get another shot. And Logan Stanley, my friend, the 6'7" wonder of the world. This is his chance too to grab a spot in the blue line with the departures of Brendan Dillon and of course Nate Schmidt, who signed with Florida.
Here's a fun one. I consider you an NHL guy. You've worked Calgary, Winnipeg, Toronto. What's the most rabid fan base and market?
Oh boy. Okay, so Toronto obviously is a Maple Leafs market. Like it's a Maple Leaf city. I think a lot of people know that, right? Edmonton, to me, having lived there, growing up in Calgary, Edmonton is an Oilers town, but pretty rabid. Like all you got to do is look at, because we get to see the hits on the websites that each team has. Like Edmonton is like so far ahead of all of us in that department. Now, of course, when you have Gretzky, Curry, Paul Coffey, Grant Fuhr, and the Stanley Cups that the Oilers have won over the years, that kind of helps you in that department. Having the world's best player in Connor McDavid helps you in that department. Winnipeg, to me, when it's humming, my friend, when things are going well, and when the Jets are in the playoffs, it's a pretty fun place to be. And we all know about the Red Mile, so it's been a pleasure to cover all those markets. I've been fortunate to be there. So for me to pick one, I'm going to be a fence sitter on this one, my friend. I know you don't like that for the show, but I like all of them in different ways.
Hey.
I'm being a Calgary kid. It was fun there too, but this place gets nuts. It was so nuts last year when the playoffs started. I had people texting me, I'm so jealous that I'm not there like you are. When the whiteout's going on to open up the playoffs, and when they won that opening game with it was like 7-6. It was crazy in here. So the building rocks, and they're all unique and special in their own way. You know what I mean?
Of course they do. And by the way, you know me well. I was listening. You did answer it without answering it. Rich in Edmonton writes in and says, the oil is religion here. And it's funny because you mentioned that Colorado-Winnipeg game 1. That was the highest rated game of round 1 in North America. So when people talk about Canadian markets, I'm just saying it's BS. They like the good hockey in the States, too. They don't care where it's being played. That is such a misnomer that people don't understand in Canada. But anyways, JT, as you know, you and I could ring up a phone bill. I could talk all day. I'll let you go, but safe travels to Penticton, buddy. Good seeing you.
Yeah, good to see you too, and have fun when the season gets started. I'm like, listen, I'm one of many that are happy that you found your way to Florida, because I would love to watch the Dolphins every weekend if I had that opportunity. So I'm a little jealous of you, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks, man. It's amazing.
Take care.
Appreciate you. Jamie Thomas from the Winnipeg Jets.